Welcome. This is Kim Tilsen-Brave. She's the executive director to Et-i-quette Catering, and she is to tell the rest. I'm just excited to watch her. I watched a few of your videos. I'm so excited to watch you again. If
Thank you.
any questions, she will answer them during and after her presentation. So welcome.
Good evening, everybody. I am Kimberly Tilsen-Brave. I'm the executive chef and co-owner of Et-i-quette Catering, and you are coming down from Et-i-quette's kitchen, and we are located downtown Rapid City, 521 7th Street. We have a cute black and white awning, and so stop by and see us sometime. I'm an enrolled citizen of the Oglala Sioux tribe, located on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. I was born there. I grew up there for some of the time, and then grew up also in Minnesota for a majority of my life. My husband and I started Et-i-quette 3 years ago in January, and it's been quite a journey, and it's been a really awesome and exciting opportunity for us to learn also more about our indigenous foods and how to prepare them in a modern way that makes it a little more accessible to everyone. And so tonight we're going to be preparing buffalo or bison meatballs with wild rice, as well as blackberry wojapi, and I'm going to throw in an extra little recipe that you can also use. It's great for Thanksgiving and great for the holidays to add something a little unique to the area. So welcome, everyone. About a month ago, my family, Brandon, as well as with my cousin Arlo Ironcloud and his wife Lisa Ironcloud. She's an amazing Lakota chef and hunter, and she took us out and she hunted a buffalo, and we did a traditional field harvest, and we actually ground some of that buffalo that we harvested, and that's what we're going to be using tonight. But you can buy buffalo. There's a lot of local producers. You can also get it at Breadroot Co-op or other co-ops, and it's becoming a lot more accessible. So I'm going to just hop right in there. Is that okay? Okay, so what I have here is I have a pound of buffalo meat, ground buffalo meat, and I'm sure most of you know that buffalo has very limited fat content, and so you have to figure out creative ways to cook it slow, but also to add a little bit more fat into it when you're making something with buffalo so that it doesn't burn. So the first thing that I'm going to have you do is we also put in a 1/4 pound of, so there's a whole pound of buffalo, and then a 1/4 pound of Italian sausage. I'm using pork sausage, but you can use chicken. You could even use regular beef hamburger if you would like. It's just to get that fat content in there. And then we're going to add a little bit of salt. I would say probably a tablespoon. And if you're cutting out sodium, just don't use it. I'm pretty hardy on my garlic powder. You can also use minced garlic if you want, but this is about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons of garlic. I have 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Just set it right there. And I have about a cup of breadcrumbs. And like I always say, like, do not ever throw away day-old bread or dry bread. You can always make your own breadcrumbs as well as your own croutons. So I just made these with a little bit of garlic, basil, and oregano, and you can just grind it up once you cook it in the oven. Grind them up in your food processor. Just throw it all in. And an egg. The other thing that we do that's a little unique to our recipe is that we add popped wild rice. This is from the White Earth Reservation in Minnesota, sorry. As you can see, it's like really beautiful. It looks like a black seed. It's hard to see with my black gloves, but it's a black seed. And how I prepare it is I put in about 2 tablespoons of butter on the stove, and then I saute a half a yellow onion, and then I actually pop the wild rice, and so that it opens. And you pop it because it's a seed, so you want to be able to make sure that it can absorb any liquid that you include. And how I prepare it is I put 1 cup of wild rice to 2.5 cups of bone broth. And this is chicken bone broth that I use today. And just slow simmer it after it's been popped for about 20 to 30 minutes. Sometimes it takes a little lot longer to absorb all the liquid. But then what you get is this beautiful mixture here. So I'm going to just add that in there. And a lot of people say, oh, wild rice is not Lakota. But the thing is that we as Indigenous people were extremely nomadic people, and that we always bartered and traded with our fellow Indigenous folks around the way. So that's why I make this. Believe it or not, cranberries is also an Indigenous berry. This is from the Ho-Chunk tribe in Wisconsin. And so then I just add in, and you can just get them from the grocery store. And it's a pretty simple recipe. And then what you want to do always, especially when you're working with buffalo, is you really want to get your hands in there, and you want to break up and include so that the mixture is all coming together with the buffalo. And like I said, mine is with a little bit of Italian sausage, and there's pork in here. But you can also use chicken, turkey, whatever you feel that you'd like to use. Just add a little bit of fat content into it so that your buffalo doesn't burn. And you want to make sure that your oven is preheated to 375 degrees. So I'm just working it. I worked it a little before we started, but usually it takes me a good like 5 minutes. And so you'll see that it's really well combined together. And if you need to add another egg, because sometimes you do, you'll feel like, oh, it's just not coming together. You're also going to have a little bit of shrinkage in the oven. So you want to make them pretty hearty. A pretty hearty size. And I like to use either a baking sheet with a parchment paper, or I really love to make them in a cast iron, because the cast iron just heats so evenly and beautifully, and you get this really gorgeous crust on the meatball, which I love because I love texture. And so this is the size of the meatball, and like I said, you'll just want to put it in your pan. And I separate them. I know a lot of people cook meatballs right next to each other, but I put them a little further apart. And they'll shrink. Does anyone have any questions so far? These are pretty hearty. One of the things that's so fun about this too is that you can use the same mixture. It's one of my favorite things is to just saute in a little bit of butter, the other half of your yellow onion, and see you have a little bit of mixture left. You have a little bit of mixture left. And so what you're gonna wanna do is like, you're just gonna fry it up, and you're gonna stuff it. Stuff these beautiful mushrooms. And what you want to do is just sprinkle a little bit of olive oil with a little bit of salt, like this. And you have beautiful, delicious just imagine this is cooked. Oh, actually I did do that. Just think that I was prepared for this. Okay, look, I already have it prepared for you. So what you would do is just like this, stuff it, and I kind of like to push it down a little bit. And this is so good. It's also a tremendous, I call it like a little protein bomb. It's so good. It's so delicious. These are baby portobellas, but you can use any kind of mushroom you'd like, what you have access to. And they come out this like really gorgeous color. And I would cook these at 350 degrees for 15 minutes. And it's just a really fun and unique way to prepare a indigenous dish for the holidays.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is that wild rice already cooked?
Yes, I cooked the wild rice.
Okay, and then it's being put into mushrooms?
It is with buffalo. So basically the same recipe we did for the meatballs is now going to be I just fried up on the stove. I just sauteed it on the stove. And now it's the same mixture, but it's just gonna go in the mushrooms. And you just cook these for 15 minutes at 350 degrees. Wild rice is something to remember that it does impact the way where your altitude is. And so here in South Dakota, in Rapid City, I always say 2.5 types of liquid per 1 cup of wild rice. You can get wild rice locally here, both at the co-op as well as at Dakota Seafood, but you can also order online direct from Red Lake Nation as long as White Earth Nation as well. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. And then there was another question. Can you share your recipe?
Oh, sure. I can send my recipe.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I'm gonna just jump in there to Wojapi. The reason why I'm doing Blackberry instead of choke cherry is that I did not get very many choke cherries this summer. I'm not sure about all of you, but I probably only got a half of a gallon. Normally, I have about 2 to 3 or 4 gallons a year. But this year I just had not the best luck. So I'm using blackberries from our local co-op, but you can use really any berry, which is so cool. I'm gonna train my gloves really quickly and then I'll get started. Just a second, sorry. So sorry about that. And like I said, I went to school on the East Coast, and they have tons and tons of wild blueberries and strawberries. And they even make like a strawberry water, but they also make a strawberry Wojapi. I don't really know what it's called. I think they call it like a berry soup. But it's very similar to ours up at Six Nations. So you can really use any berry you'd like. This is about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of berries. And what I do is I just put it in the pan, directly put it in the pan. And I like to kind of just render it down on medium heat. And I put in about 1 cup of sugar. I know that seems like a lot. If you don't want to use sugar, you don't have to. You can just do it with the berries, or you can use a substitute as honey, which is another indigenous ingredient. And it has so many healing components as well, or agave, or one of my new favorites is maple sugar. But it will flavor your Wojapi. So then I just render those down together, and then I slowly add in water for I put in about 1.5 cups. and I cook it again on medium heat, and it starts to combine. And I want to teach you a little tiny trick that has really worked for me. I use about a 1/4 cup of cold water to 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and I mix them up and I set it aside, and I kind of let it come to room temperature, and I slowly put it in, and I just start to make it a little bit thicker, depending on the texture of what kind of wojapi you want. I'm going a little heavier on the cornstarch than usual because it's kind of a glaze that I put on top of the buffalo meatballs, which is, I know it sounds odd, but an amazing and phenomenal combination because it's like this like savoriness of the buffalo against the sweetness of the wojapi. It's also very beautiful plated. And so it probably takes me about 20 minutes. You do not want to leave this. This is something that you want to watch so you don't burn. Hold on, sorry, take a drink of water. And you just want to, so now I've cooked this down already, just in prep. And it just becomes this like beautiful, this is pretty thick. And it has a nice little glaze on it. My station's getting a little crowded. Just a second. So just imagine I pulled out the beautiful buffalo meatballs from the oven. Let me show you them. So this is what they'll look like. And you want to make sure that they're cooked to 160 degrees internal temperature for your own safety. And so they're really good. And you can see the beautiful like wild rice in them, the cranberries in them. And you know, they're like this really beautiful texture. So then what you do is you put your beautiful wojapi that you just made on top. And I've even like put bowls out of it so you can dip it if you want. I know most people are going to be like, what is it? I'm just like, just try it. It's so good. And it's really fun and flavorful. I mean, I'm telling you, like my kids love it. So good. And then I just have these like little appetizer sticks, especially because of COVID, so we're not cross touching things, so that it can be safe for your family gathering.
Kim?
Yeah.
I had another question. They wanted to know how long you cook it. I do believe the buffalo meatballs, yeah? How long do you?
So I would cook it for 25 minutes at 350 degrees, but I would check it. And again, because that buffalo doesn't have a ton of fat content in it, you don't want to burn it. But you also want to cook it through. So I would say 25 minutes. That's what I cook these for. And then if you want to see,
Ooh.
Aren't they pretty?
They
so
look
pretty.
good. My husband is listening and he says, that sounds so good.
I'm gonna have Arlo try one so he can tell you all how good it tastes. And I just put a little bit of arugula on, local arugula, to taste it. What do you think?
That is delicious. That is delicious.
And like I said, so you get out of it, and you can just put in like a little pretty, you could add some blackberries on here, plate it really pretty, you know, in a little bowl so people could dip their meatballs if they wanted, their buffalo meatballs, and really make it a gorgeous dish. And like I said, perfect for the holidays. And I just love it. And it's also just like so impressive And people are like, what is that? But it's also cool too, because you're using these indigenous ingredients, and it's a little bit of South Dakota right there on your dinner table, which I love. And I just feel like it's really special and something unique, but also really good. And anytime I've made these, the other thing too is you can easily make them without gluten. If you don't want to use the breadcrumbs, that's fine. Just add another egg. You don't need to sub it with like almond flour or whatever. You just don't need to do that. Well, that went really quick.
When that says that looks amazing, Kim.
Who said that?
Kathleen on the box.
Oh, great. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
That does look so good.
So I know that felt like it kind of went fast, but do you have any other questions?
I was wondering about other ways to serve Wojapi.
Oh, sure. I mean, you can serve Wojapi with an entire, like just in a bowl itself with, yes, please, with fry bread or any kind of bread. I personally don't make fry bread, even though I'm really good at it because of my own beliefs. It does a colonizer bread. But one of the other things that I make with it is I make a really gorgeous corn cake. And I put Wojapi on top of that and just some blackberries on top, and it's beautiful. So with anything, but a lot like my kids just spoon it. They like literally just love it and spoon it. So that's another way to do it. And I haven't tried it, but you could totally put a little Wojapi on the mushrooms too.
Thank you, Kim. You've done an amazing job again. I just love seeing you and learning from you. And I'm excited to try your recipe. You will share it online or?
I think that I'll send it to the organizer and then they'll just email it out to everybody.
Okay.
You can also look me up on YouTube, and there's both of these recipes are on there as well. If you just want to look up Kimberly Tilsen-Brave on YouTube, and they come right up.
Okay, you have another question from Tim. Do you ever glaze meat with Wojapi while it's in the oven?
Yeah, I have. I actually did this. I did 2 different turkeys last year. I did a turmeric turkey, which was like amazing. And I also did a Wojapi. And what I did was I actually kind of made the glaze on top and I cooked it in the last 15 minutes. So I put the Wojapi on in the last 15 minutes so the turkey, so it doesn't burn. And then covered it and then uncovered it for the last like 5 to 7 minutes. It was so good. And people just used it like we use Wojapi as like you would use like a cranberry sauce. We had Wojapi instead. So to make it just like unique and something that you can always have at your holiday meal.
That sounds so good. I'll have to try that on my turkey this year.
Yeah, you should. And it also helps to moisten it, to keep your turkey moist.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Kim. Was there any more questions for Kim?
No, Kim, that was awesome. Thank you.
But I just
Thank you. I really appreciate you guys spending the evening with me. I will post again. You can follow us at Et-i-quette Catering Co. On Instagram or on Facebook. We're really becoming known for our gorgeous charcuterie boxes, which are also a perfect addition for your holiday table. And yeah, sure. And so we have local charcuterie meats, and look how beautiful they are. And they come with meats and cheeses, fresh fruit, dried fruit, nuts. And over the holidays, I also do like a pumpkin hummus. During Christmas, I do like a cranberry hummus. And I also do a haroset brie, which is a Jewish recipe of cranberries, grape juice, cinnamon, walnuts, and you just put it on brie and you can put it in the oven for just a couple minutes. It's delicious and beautiful. So look us up and follow us on social media, and we really appreciate for the opportunity.
Thank you again, Kim. There will be some great speakers tomorrow. We have Lisa Ironcloud that will be on, and then also they're having the door prizes and a lot of other good events happening. So everybody log on tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tomorrow.
you want to make sure that you log on and see Lisa. She's amazing. I consider her, well, she's one of my dearest friends and relative, but also an incredible Lakota educator who is just phenomenal. She's so knowledgeable, and we're so blessed to be able to have her in our region. So definitely log on. You're also going to be able to meet with AJ Grinelli from Homegrown Pork and Poultry tomorrow, who is also one of our distributors. And we just love him, and we love their company. And so you get to meet with him tomorrow too, which is awesome.
So that is at 9 o'clock Mountain Time, 10 o'clock Central Time.
Yes.
And that is the traditional Lakota food preservation session. And then we also have a 9 o'clock session, 10 o'clock Central, on how to butcher a pig. And that'll be up at Sturgis Meats. And then at 11:45, we have the raffle. So everybody needs to stay tuned for that. And then right after that, we run into backyard chickens. And AJ's I think AJ's gonna do a thing on how to butcher a chicken. So
nice.
Tomorrow should be really fun. Thanks everyone for attending. Do you have some more questions there? Are we good?
I wanted to point out that the times for tomorrow are going to be 8 Mountain and 9 Central. Yeah, yeah, we're getting up early for this one, and so that we can we'll take like a break in there, and then we'll hop back on. Everybody will hop on to do the prize giveaways and stuff. But those first sessions on the food preservation, and Lisa's presenting tomorrow at 8. So
we may have a scheduling issue because we're not scheduled for the pig butchery till probably 8:30.
Okay, well, it'll all work out, and we can talk certainly about that, because people will be wanting to go to all of them at that time, because there's 3 running that are all really good, and it's the Sturgis Meats Butchery, and then the canning with Donna Adrian.
Oh right, canning tomorrow as well.
The first one, and then the food preservation with Lisa. So people might be pretty torn with that too. So if you need some extra time to get set up and things, you can certainly do that.
Yeah, we'll be up and running for the pig thing at 8:30.
Okay.
Because we've got the pig. It's already been slaughtered. It's hanging, so we have a little bit of prep time to get it on the table.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's just gonna be a lot of hands-on stuff tomorrow. So a lot of that workshop style classes and everything. I learned a lot tonight about making meatballs, because I like that idea of you got to saute them a little bit, or get them a little bit brown first before you throw them in the oven, because I love that texture. So, and
these are not, just to let you know, these are not sauteed on the stove, because they're cooked in a cast iron pan. You actually don't need to do that, and you still have that beautiful crust and texture, and because of the cast iron. And it's another thing, another little trick too, is instead of using like a casserole dish, if you're going to put them in there, is to use a thin like cookie sheet. Because it still does that crust without you having to being able to skip that step. So you still get that really nice crunchy crust, but the juicy inside that doesn't taste dry.
Okay, yeah, I've always wondered how to get that. Yeah, that's great. Worth investing definitely in a cast iron pan.
Yep, I love cast iron. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Kim, there's quite a bit on this chat thanking you.
Oh,
Uh,
awesome.
I don't know if you could see it, but
I can't.
there's SDSU says, thank you so much. That looks so good. Jordan says, thanks, Kim. Beth Nelson says, thank you. Can't wait to try that or try this. And then, yeah, and then they're then talking about tomorrow. So
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And like I said, you know, if you can support Native cooks, Native producers, we really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you all have a great night.
there's one more that just popped on. Nicole, thank you, and look forward to getting the recipe.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and that's on what's your YouTube channel again?
It's just, you can just literally Google Kimberly Tilsen-Braveheart or Kim Tilsen-Braveheart on YouTube. And both recipes come up for Wojapi and the meatballs.
Okay, yeah, I'll follow that. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Good morning. Bye.